Have you ever looked at your calendar and realized that you had a very important appointment that you thought was supposed to happen next week, but instead it was happening today? Now, I don't know about you, but I've had that happen to me more times than I can count. For example, I thought my wife's birthday was next week, but it's tomorrow. So what do? I rush out the door and do everything I can to get ready to celebrate her birthday. I imagine, it was a little bit like that for William Miller. One day, he's sitting down and he's deep in a Bible study. First, he has to figure out the prophetic symbols. He learned that a woman represented a church or a religious system. He learns that metals, horns, crowns, and beasts represented, political powers. Or they could represent a combination of religious and political powers. He learns that there is a final war, one last battle between good and evil. He discovers that war would end with the second coming of Jesus and the salvation of God's end-time people. It was with all of this in mind that Miller put his mind to the study of Daniel 8, a study that would change his life and the course of human history. So there's William Miller sitting at his desk, and he's looking at Daniel chapter 8, and he's trying to figure out what the 2300-day prophecy is all about. Then he takes a look at Daniel chapter 9, and it clicks. A king is going to make a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem, and when he gives that order, a time prophecy is going to start. He does the math. 70 prophetic weeks equals 490 prophetic days. Now, using the prophetic day for a literal year principle, and you have 490 literal years. And somewhere in those 490 years, at the 487-year mark, Christ would die for us on the cross. So, starting with 457 BC and moving forward 487 years, he arrives on a Friday afternoon in AD 33. And that day, Christ would die for our sin. The math was good. But wait, after reading Daniel 9, Miller learned that the same decree would set in motion not just one, but two time prophecies. The second time prophecy was tied to Daniel's 2300-day prophecy. Again, he did the math. 2300 prophetic days would equal 2300 literal years. So starting at 457 BC and counting forward, he arrives at October 22, 1844. He doubles and triple checks his math. The math is solid. He looks up from his desk and he asks himself, what does all of this mean? And we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Again, thank you for stopping by. Have a look at your lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.